Friends, you know that we love a quiz here at Fat Mascara. I'm going to do you one better. Enter Color Guru. Color Guru is a system that helps you find, wait for it, your colors so you know what's going to work best for you. Jen and I are freaking obsessed. We talk about this in our free time.
How many times have we discussed getting your colors done and how cool that is? Color Guru does it better than anyone. Listen, I've had this done a couple points in my life, and I always thought I knew what my colors were and what looked good on me. And then I did the Color Guru analysis, and it was like mind blown. I literally did a closet overhaul. I went shopping, and I gave myself the freedom to just be like, nope, 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 nope. These things that were trendy that I knew weren't going to look good on me. It made my life so much easier. And it's easy to do. You upload these photos and you get this whole system back, 8 pages of data, which metallics look good on me, what makeup looks good on me, what colors look good on me, what season I am. What a great gift for someone in your family this holiday season that's always complaining, I don't know what to wear. Get them a Color Guru analysis. You will not be sorry.
This is so much fun. If you want to figure out what looks good on you and feel more confident in your clothing and makeup choices, order your color analysis today. Visit colorguru.com to get your custom color consultation now and use code FATMASCARA for 10% off. Again, that's colorguru.com and the 10% off discount code is FATMASCARA. Then write us and tell us how you liked it.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Fat Mascara. I'm Jess.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jen. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Okay, so I'm getting in a very calm, serene mood. We're talking aromatherapy today. We're talking aromatherapy.
This so goes against everything in my Philly vibes to talk this way. But yeah, let's get soothing, shall we?
What's up, Philly? I couldn't even get it out. I was laughing. What's up, Philly?
Sometimes I listen to it when I'm editing the podcast and I'm like, shut up, Jen. Just shut up. You're so loud and you're so staccato. Denise is none of that, which she's actually has a British accent, so that's even more soothing, right?
There must be aromatherapists in Philly who are not I can't even.
Who are not like me?
No, I was just don't talk like Philly.
I know, but there's this famous, I have this t-shirt that says, I'm not yelling, I'm from Philly.
From Philly. Listen, I'm from New Jersey. It's not we're neighbors. We're neighbors.
My people can't even say the full name of the damn town. Have you ever heard anyone say Philadelphia?
I'm from Philadelphia.
I'm from Philadelphia. Maybe that's how I had to get in the mode. I'm from Philadelphia.
I'm from Philadelphia. Hey,
Denise?
I'm Jen. I'm from Philadelphia. Okay. So listen, I really wanted to be here for this interview. You know I love a bit of aromatherapy. I'm already lying down thinking about this episode. It sounds very relaxing. I'm ready to be informed. I'm ready to diffuse something.
Yeah, and just a reminder, Jess is, sometimes we do solo interviews and everything. Jess is over at Moda Operandi gearing up for fabulousness, so she couldn't join me. But
gearing up!
Will be back. Yeah.
Very exciting, yes.
No, you're doing the Jen? Thank you. Lovely Denise is listening to this intro, and she's like, when are they going to get to my interview? Denise, we're going to do it. You're a certified aromatherapist and the founder of Le Boutique. So I was introduced to this brand. Someone gave me one of her candles, and I looked into it. I was like, this is an amazing candle, gorgeous. And I realized she was an aromatherapist and she's the founder. And I thought, I need to know more. Turns out Denise is super inspiring. She runs this brand that is gorgeous. Get this, Jess. It is a side gig. It is not even her full-time job. She works in financial services.
Oh my God.
The woman also has, her aromatherapy degree, started this beautiful brand. She had some personal health issues that led her to aromatherapy. And she said she's made it her mission to help people de-stress. So
what candle does she burn when she's doing her finance jazz?
I don't know, but she has one candle. She also has a tight edit, as we like to say here at Fat Mascara. And it's an evening candle, and it just has this herbal and ylang-ylang, and I don't even know. It's just fabulous. I also thought everybody might be into her story because this is interesting. I've been noticing this when you guys call in to tell the Fat Mascara family about products that you love. When you raise a wand, you call us or email us. I would say, I'm not going to do the data analysis on this, but I would say more than a quarter, maybe up to half of you talk about how you love buying local or saying that you bought something because you like supporting an independent business, a female-founded brand, that kind of thing. So I know that's really important to our community. So I've always been on the lookout for more experts who fit that bill, and Denise certainly does. So as a side note, I'm just going to remind you guys, send me those Raise a Wand recommendations. Call us 646-481-8182. Just leave a voice message with a product that you love and why, or email us a voice memo to info@fatmascara.com. And by the way, that can be your homework. Why don't you highlight the small business or female-founded business that you love, or independent local business? You got a little candle company you bought at the fall fair? We want to hear about it. I love sharing that stuff with the fam. So do that. And now, what you've actually been waiting for, I'll shut up. Let's talk to Denise. Okay, hi Denise. Welcome to Fat Mascara.
Hi, Jen. How are you?
Good, thank you. Better soon, I hope, because I'm going to hear all about relaxation and aromatherapy from you. And I know you make these beauty wellness remedies, and they're all based on aromatherapy. Mm-hmm. So for those of us who don't know, what is aromatherapy exactly?
So technically, aromatherapy is a holistic therapeutic application. So we use plant-derived essential oils to enhance one's overall well-being. So one's physical well-being, emotional, spiritual well-being as part of their holistic health. You probably know, Jen, it's a very ancient practice. There's been written records on aromatherapy from 5,000 years ago, and it works well with other practices as part of a holistic lifestyle.
Is it always about aroma? Because you said essential oils, but like sometimes we use those on our skin in different ways and they might not necessarily smell. Is that part of aromatherapy?
Well, it's definitely scent is part of aromatherapy, right? It's aroma and therapy.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
I know that seems obvious, but then sometimes it's like, oh, we have a carrier oil with a little drop of essential oil, so it doesn't really smell, but it's benefiting your skin, and I don't know if that would be considered aromatherapy.
Yeah, so essential oils. So aromatherapy is using essential oils. So these are like volatile or aromatic compounds that are extracted from plant materials. And when I say plant materials, I'm talking about flowers or berries or buds, leaves, needles, those types of things. Mm-hmm. What it is it's not herbalism. So herbalism uses the entire plant, whether it's fresh or dried, whereas aromatherapy only uses essential oils. And so essential oils are extracted from those different materials, whether it's woods or twigs or roots, etc., generally by two methods. One is steam distillation, and the other is cold expression, which basically uses a mechanism to extract the essential oils out of things like peels, like citrus peels. So if you've ever peeled an orange, for instance, do you remember sometimes you'll see that spray that comes up out of like the citrus peel? That's essential oils right there.
Okay. So yeah, the scent is a big part of it because those parts of the plants are the good smelling parts, right? We're not talking about like a seed that would be cracked to make like, an olive oil type thing that might not have a scent.
Well, you can actually...
Unless it's a good olive oil.
Essential oils you can actually get from seeds too. So cardamom, cardamom, for instance, comes from the seed.
But it's considered an essential oil, not like a carrier oil.
Correct. So carrier oils typically carrier oils, for instance, like argan or jojoba, those also come from plants too, right? But those are extracted, so they're expressed out of the kernels, the nuts, the seeds, etc. But essential oils, it can get confusing, definitely, right? It can get confusing. For instance, when I was first starting, I thought carrot seed truly was a carrier oil. It's not. Carrot seed is actually an essential oil.
Okay, that's why we have you trained as aromatherapist to explain this and why it's not just as simple as let's put some stuff on our skin and sniff some stuff.
Exactly.
So let's go back a little. Okay. How did you even get into this? It was for stress benefits, right? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a mom I have a 14-year-old son who's a freshman in high school. I'm a wife and I'm a corporate career woman. So I actually have a career in financial services as well. And I'm originally from London, England. And when I graduated college, I came over to the United States, and with not too much clothes, books, pretty much that was it. And I crashed on my father's couch. And after being in college, I was just like, this isn't going to work. I need to have my own space. So I worked 2 jobs at one point, 3, and really, really strove to have my first apartment, which I wanted to rent and furnish and then obviously live, clothing and eating out, the whole 9 yards. One thing leads to another. And, I got my first apartment, job, got a house, got married, had a kid, was working as a corporate career woman. With this comes an increasing list of responsibilities.
I mean, I was stressed just hearing about you holding down 3 jobs at one time, Denise. But yes, add in a family and a house payment and all of that, I understand.
Yeah. So, like all of us, I juggle. And, during stressful times, I'm very English. You keep that stiff upper lip and you kind of power through everything. And frankly, I really didn't take care of myself. It's really hard to hear me say it, but, ultimately, it's all on me, nobody else. I really looked at it as being pretty selfish. So, fast forwarding to 2019, my stress, I tend to internalize. It had built up and my body rebelled. And I'm still powering through it. And, my husband actually spoke up. He doesn't speak up too often and tell me, hey, X, Y, and Z, but this was one of those cases that he did.
So you were like physically unwell at this
physically
point?
Unwell. Physically, manifesting on my body unwell. So my husband, Joe, basically said, what are you going to do about it? So about a month later,
what'd you do?
Well, we went on vacation.
That's a good solution.
We had booked a vacation to the British West Indies. So we went to Anguilla. And one day I was just sitting out on the balcony, feeling the trade winds and just chilling out, right? I remember what he said in terms of, you need to take care of your stress and everything. And I don't mean to go all woo-woo on you here, but aromatherapy literally just popped into my mind. It just did. And it was like my aha moment. And it was just like...
Were you smelling anything as you're sitting here on the...
No.
Okay.
No.
Other than the ocean breezes?
No. I wasn't smelling anything in particular that said, oh, I want to go into aromatherapy.
Yeah.
So it was almost serendipitous when it happened, right? And then when it did, I was just like, well, why didn't I think of this sooner? I mean, we grew up surrounded by houseplants from my mother. It was like living in a jungle at one point.
Same.
Right? And
my mom too.
Yeah, right? And she had so many bottles of perfumes. I remember as a little girl, literally she had one of those really tall dresses and she had a million different perfumes up on it. And I remember thinking, A, why do you need so many? Because I'm of the less is more, mentality. But she loved perfumes. And so, when aromatherapy came to me, I was just like, ta-da, of course.
Did you know at this point all the stuff you just shared with us about essential oils and how they're extracted, or no?
I didn't know anything other than putting a few drops, into a diffuser and it's smelling good. That's pretty much all I knew at the time. So when I started to explore aromatherapy, I enrolled in the New York Institute of Aromatherapy, which is led by Amy Gulper, who's obviously a true professional in her field. And
also a former guest on our podcast.
Excellent.
Years ago.
Yeah. I just learned so much. I was just absolutely fascinated. And for me, it was, I want to explore more. As I understood about stress and kind of the mind-body impact, and literally seeing it manifest on me firsthand, I just wanted to spread the joy of scent and everything that it could do to others. So,
and did you, as you were training, were you putting into practice the things you were learning? And were there specific things that helped you start to feel better?
Yeah, so I would make, for instance, my own like aromatic sprays, like pillow sprays. So that was one of the things I did. And as I was learning too, my father was saying, oh gosh, he's 80 this year. Or next year, I'm sorry. He's 80 next year. He was suffering from arthritis. So when I was studying, I was like, hey, let me try this on you. And he was just like, yeah, whatever, Denise. But I sent him a balm I made.
What was in this balm?
Oh my gosh, this was some of the stronger essential oils. So I believe in this particular one, I think I had like black pepper and ply and spike lavender, if I recall. Okay. And so I made it for him and sent it over, and he started applying. And he said, you know what, Denise, I'm actually starting to feel a little bit better. So, that definitely gave me a boost of confidence, because my dad's definitely one of the believe it when I see it kind of mentality, but it definitely gave me the confidence to continue.
So that kind of balm that you made for him, and I'm sure you made some things for yourself as well, this is what I still struggle to understand about aromatherapy. As you're applying it to your skin, is it just the smell and how that affects your brain that's doing the work, or is it topically also absorbing and doing something?
It's actually both.
Okay. Right? In the case of this balm, yeah.
Well, in the case of all essential oils, so essential oils have two benefits. They have two benefits, right? They're kind of multifunctional. So just like we are multitasking, essential oils are too. So they have an emotional benefit. So you mentioned about smelling essential oils. So that definitely comes from the impact of the aroma on the brain. So when you smell an essential oil, right, it definitely can help reduce stress and anxiety, lower perceptions of pain. It can definitely help increase alertness, etc., right, depending upon the essential oil. But there's also a physical therapeutic benefit as well. So as an example, for skin, it can support the health of the skin. It can enhance detoxing the skin. It can help brighten the skin.
Or in this case, the black pepper probably had some sort of like analgesic or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So in that particular balm, it was more pain. I was really focused on pain relieving.
If you're working with essential oils and getting, let's go to that brain kind of benefit you were talking about, that mood boost, could you get that from a synthetic fragrance? Like if somebody made a lavender scent with the molecules, that are in lavender in a lab, would that do the same thing as like sniffing pure lavender essential oil? Can we trick our brains into that?
Great question. So I'm not a scientist, right? So I would be hesitant to say no, that only essential oils can do that, because there's some great things that can be made in a lab, right? Synthetically.
And still smell good and make you feel good by smelling them.
Exactly, right? Okay. Because, at the end of the day, it's how our brain perceives the smell, right? And that's going to trigger how we respond, right? Do we feel like less stressed? Do we feel relaxed? Do we feel calm? Do we feel like let's go get them, right? So I don't know that I'm comfortable saying yes or no.
No, I get it. But you know what? You bring up something with perception. Scents like lavender and ylang-ylang come up a lot when people talk about aromatherapy. What if somebody just doesn't like lavender? For whatever reason, they have a learned association, like they had a teacher they hated that wore lavender. I don't know what it is. They just don't like the smell. Yeah. Are they still going to get that relaxing benefit, that someone who loves lavender would get?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't, because it's a dual.
You don't have to like it to have it work.
Correct. But, if you don't like it, you may not be using it. Right.
Okay.
So, and then if you're not using it, then it's definitely not going to work.
So I could be sitting here and like pissed off because something smells like lavender, which I don't like, but then weirdly relaxed still.
Yeah. And frankly, I don't like lavender. I really don't.
Oh my God, I've never met an aromatherapist who doesn't like lavender.
I don't. It's not my favorite scent. It just, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it can be one of those scents that it's polarizing, right? Like you either like, you just like it or you don't.
Yeah. But, there's like anything in life, there's like different origins, right? So maybe like a French one, maybe slightly nicer than, say, like an English lavender. I mean, I don't know. But for me,
You said something called spike lavender? What's that?
Spike. So spike lavender is a much stronger lavender than the regular lavender that you find in the stores, right?
Okay.
So it's used primarily for, at least I use it. I won't say it's used. I use it if I am making something for somebody, and I only make for friends and family. That's it. For pain.
Okay.
Typically.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, Denise, technically, you don't just make for friends and family because you have a whole line of boats. She has a beautiful candle, which, by the way, I am burning right now.
Oh, I love that.
I was like, let me get in the mode. I know it's for evening. Your candle's right for like before bed, but like,
yeah. Oh,
it's very relaxing.
Thank you. You've just made my day.
Yeah, but my point being, you do use these tools to make products as well, right?
I do.
And so most people, though, if they're stressed out, aren't like, let me go learn about aromatherapy and start a whole other business on top of my financial services career, my motherhood, my wifehood. What made you want to start a line and share this?
I have always felt that mental health is a problem, right? And definitely in our post, definitely since the pandemic, stress and anxiety are on the rise even more so. Americans in general are about 20% more stressed than the global average. And
what?
Yeah.
Now I'm stressed thinking about this.
Yeah.
Now, do you count yourself as an American being, from England?
Oh, have to answer that.
I'm just wondering, are you naturally less stressed than me, Denise?
No. If anything, I think I'm the chief stress officer of all time.
Okay.
I stress all the time. I'm sorry, I forgot your question. What was it again?
My question was, what made you want to then share this? You could have just made for your friends and yourself.
Because especially as a paid working woman, because we all work, right? But especially as a paid working woman and just juggling all of these different things. And I didn't think it would happen to me, right? I thought I was really, really good at juggling everything and being on top of everything and, being responsive and checking the box. And it happened, right?
Yeah.
I've always heard about the mind-body connection, and you kind of hear it, but until you experience it, that's when it really hits and that's when it really resonates, like anything in life.
So you wanted to speak to women like you who might not even be thinking
to
pay attention to themselves.
I felt it was my calling. I felt like it was my calling. My mother has always said that I'm stressed out. She says, if you spoke to her today, she would say, Denise was born stressed. I mean, literally. That's what she says.
Denise.
It's like Denise was born stressed, right? And so when I was thinking about aromatherapy and thinking about, okay, what could I do with it? And then just being stressed, like it was just like all these pieces came together. And it's just like, okay, now I know this is what I was put on this earth to do. This is my purpose. And I want to do whatever I can do to try to get the message out there of taking care of yourself. It's not selfish, and kind of almost with habits and rituals, almost kind of like making a recommitment to yourself. It doesn't have to be, this elaborate 1 or 2 hour preparation. It can be just 15 minutes, just 15 minutes of self-care. Sometimes I'll lie in bed in the morning and do nothing, right? Just for 10 minutes before I start my day and think of nothing. And that's just, for me, that's self-care too. So I'm really, really passionate about, let's stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. It's hard. I mean, it's really hard, right? we all got our outward appearances that we want to keep up, and measures of success, whatever that looks like for you. But at the end of the day, at the end of your day, your body's silent, but it's listening.
Have you heard from people, customers now, because you sell, a body serum and a candle, and like that you've helped them? Are there any stories like that you've gotten as feedback?
I've had one person, actually, that's not true. I've had a couple of people, but one really resonates in particular. And it was one lady, she said that she's always had problems like sleeping, and that, that she's really finding it super, super soothing. She said, I don't know whether it's psychological or not, but for me, it's working.
That she's able to fall asleep more easily using aromatherapy through the products you've created.
Because, so I sell, as you know, Jen, a body serum that's used at night. So when you apply essential oils, and as always, I want to preface and say, it's never directly. Okay, so it's never undiluted on the skin, right? So it's always got to be diluted in a carrier oil. And it's a slower absorption through the skin. So it's perfect for like nighttime, which is one of the reasons why one of the first products I came out with was a night or an evening serum, is because it allows for the very slow absorption through the skin at night. And so with our ingredients, I really wanted to make sure that they focused on like calm, rest, and restoration after you've had a really awful, utterly crazy day, that you have this little piece of luxurious magic for you at night.
So we briefly mentioned lavender, which you don't even love. What are some of the other ingredients used in aromatherapy? Let's just use the serum because I know it has some different essential oils in it. Palo Santo's in it, right?
Yeah. So
what does Palo Santo do?
Palo Santo is an essential oil that is extracted from wood. So it actually comes from the Palo Santo tree. And just like how you may burn it, I'm looking, because I have some right here in my office, right? So people typically burn it, to promote a calm and kind of like a peaceful atmosphere. It's the same type of thing with the essential oils, if you think about it, because you're extracting from that same wood. So how it helps is it's deemed as a distressing agent and to help encourage a better night's sleep. So it could help calm any kind of like panic attacks or anxiety or anything else like that. And it has an active role in the immune system. I personally love Palo Santo. I really, really love Palo Santo. I describe the scent as almost like a creamy, woody type of scent, right? It's not like wet wood. It's kind of like a creamy kind of undertone, right? Slightly spicy, very, very slightly citrusy.
Yeah. I feel like whenever I talk to people that work in aromatherapy, it's always about relaxing and like chilling out and going to sleep. Are there aromas that can help in the opposite effect? Like, can you make me a wake-up candle? Like what would be some of those fragrances?
So I would say some fragrances like citrus. Citrus would be...
Right. Uplifting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Citrus fruits like tangerine's a beautiful one. I really love tangerine. Tangerine, bergamot, grapefruit, sweet orange, any of those, right? Because those are very, very uplifting, right? If you cut an orange or something like that, it's like kind of that very bright citrusy scent. Other ones may be like, which you may like, are like from the mint family, like peppermint. You're going to find very like energizing. So it's not all about kind of calm and relaxation, even though that's my gig right now. Right? They can have the opposite effect too.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm wondering how much is art versus science on this because, you just named 4 citruses. Like, could somebody mess it up? And if they're playing around with aromatherapy and making themselves a pillow spray, like if they put the wrong citrus, are they like, is it not going to do anything? Or is there like an instinct to it and an art to it that if it feels good and feels right, then it's probably working for you?
I would say it's an art and a science, honestly.
Both.
Yeah. Can you mess it up? Maybe if you're using some kind of toxic essential oil. And when I say toxic, meaning, some essential oils have more safety precautions than others, right? But generally the ones that most people are buying or most people use aren't, from that standpoint. In terms of, can you mess it up? So let's say, for instance, you are making, a pillow spray that has like lavender and geranium and maybe a little bit of orange or something like that in it. Mm-hmm. No, I really don't think you can mess it up per se. I mean, you want to always make sure you're not making it too strong.
Right.
You always want to make sure you're not making it too strong. There's only a couple of percentage points, right, that you're using. But it's also
what does it say? Someone just pure lavender oil, but they wanted to make it into a body serum. Like, how much carrier oil to lavender would there be?
Yeah, so
you said a few drops, but do you really mean a few drops?
A percentage, right? It comes down to it comes down to a percentage. So if you're using it on your body, generally about 2%, right? Generally about 2% essential.
Drops, 2% essential oil, 98 drops of my carrier oil.
Yeah.
Oh, Denise, I have been making very potent body serums. I feel like I want to smell it. Like I want to get my money's worth and put a bunch of good smelling stuff in there.
I understand. And I believe in Europe it's even lower. I think it's 1% if I recall. So,
a little
bit goes a long way. I mean, these are potent essential oils, right? But you can't really mess it up. And I mean, scent is a personal thing, right? What I might like, you may not. So it's a personal thing, and you may mix something into a synergy, and next time you're like, I wish it had a little bit more lavender and a little bit less of this.
Yeah. What do you wish more people knew? Clearly, you're teaching us do not put our essential oils directly on our skin. Mm-hmm. The diluted is the way to go with these. Is there anything else that as people, learn more about this and mess around and read things online, you're like, just please know this also?
So, I mean, apart from, what you mentioned, and I'll go back to what I said before, is that skin absorbs essential oils. It's a slower method, but it does allow essential oils to support over a longer period of time than, say, inhaling essential oils. There's many physical therapeutic benefits and actions on the skin. So I mentioned a few earlier on, such as reducing inflammation, but it can also help to heal wounds, address infections such as bacterial or fungus or some kind of fungal infection. It can soothe itching as well and enhance its overall appearance.
Yeah, like I'm thinking, menthol creams back in the day. I mean, that's technically aromatherapy, right? If it was a mint cream that was helping with itching, wouldn't that be aromatherapy?
Yeah. Do you remember Vicks Vapor Rub back in the day?
Of course.
Right?
My mom used to slather it on my chest whenever I had a cold.
Tell me about it, right? But, that is menthol that's in there, right? So it's menthol in there, and my mom used to put it right here at the very, very top, and it was, you're smelling that, right? So and the smelling of that is helping cure or ail whatever.
Oh my God, it's bringing me back. I can imagine exactly. And then the humidifier would always be running. I don't know, I guess when I was sick, she had this like really loud humidifier, and then the Vicks Vapor Rub, and you're like, oh God, I know I'm sick.
Right.
But that is aromatherapy, right?
It is. It's scent.
I'm just thinking about going to sleep like that because also I know you're very into an evening ritual.
Yeah.
And a lot of, here at Fat Mascara, we love getting our beauty sleep. What else do you like to do before bed to sort of like wind down?
So I am pretty anal. So before...
No, Denise, type A, who starts her own company on the side just because she's so stressed, she needs more stress.
Right. Well, so one of the very, very first things I do for my evening is actually plan the next day. I know that may not sound like most people will say, and this is still true, you want to like lower the temperature of your room, make it as dark as possible, etc., etc. But for me, I got to get stuff out of my head, right? So part of that is planning for the next day. And so I take a few minutes to do that. For me, it's a huge weight lifted off my mind. And one key thing is I never plan more than 3 things to do the next day. Because if it's more than 3, something's going to fall through the cracks, and I'm going to be stressed.
Just thinking about only putting 3 things on my to-do list for the next day. That's stressful.
But how empowering is it if you check off all 3 things?
I never check them off. Denise, the to-do list goes from day to day. And like each day, one thing, but it just keeps traveling along with me. You should see it. Like here, I have it right here. Like the same. You could go back 10 pages and be like, I thought that was on there 10 days ago.
Yeah. Well,
but it's still on there.
Well, I carry mine. I mean, I carry tasks over too, right? But I love checking something off. I don't love adding on.
Making it more finite so that you will actually complete it.
Yeah,
that's very satisfying.
Yeah. So planning, I get it out of my head. I try to set out my clothes and breakfast for the next day, but I'm not always good at that, right? I'll be honest. I mean,
oh my gosh.
Try.
I'm impressed.
Well, don't be. I mean, it's an aspiration.
It doesn't always happen.
It's an aspiration, right? Sometimes it happens.
I like that.
Sometimes it doesn't. I always make tea at night.
Oh, what kind of tea?
Peppermint, usually. Yeah.
I love mint tea at night.
Yeah, it's usually peppermint.
Is that aromatherapy?
I don't sniff it. You know, I mean, I'm not there sniffing at it. I'm sure it.
I mean, you're smelling it.
No,
as you sip
I'm going to make it tonight. I'm going to be sniffing it, right, and thinking of you, right. But typically, I make peppermint tea at night, right. I like to have a nice, calm stomach, and psychologically, for me, it's a trigger. It's a trigger for the evening, like calm down, wind down, and when I have that, I don't want to be watching TV. I don't have a TV in my room, in my bedroom. And I do not bring my phone into the bedroom either.
Yeah, so, that's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I purposely don't, because otherwise I'll be scrolling through something or responding to a text or whatever. So it's just, making sure electronics are out of your room, right? So my brain knows it's time to go to sleep. And, sometimes I journal. I don't do it every night. Again, it's an aspiration to do it every night. But tea is always on the docket at night. And of course, using the serum.
Yeah. Before I do a little speed round at the end here, I have to ask you, other than the products that you make for yourself, what are some of your favorite beauty products? Like, let's do hair. Like, what are the Denise go-to hair products?
I don't have any favorite hair products per se.
A woman with a to-do list and type A personality just lets it be?
No, it's more skin, right?
Okay. What is your skincare?
So I loved Tata Harper's Nourishing Oil Cleanser. That is just like liquid gold for me. Love it. I also love Indie's Lead COQ10, I think it is, toner.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Indie Lee, yeah.
Yep. And,
no surprise, these both rely on essential oils. I know those 2 brands.
Well, maybe, that's probably why. And then there's for makeup and stuff, Kira Weiss foundations, RMS Beauty. I tend to use their makeup lines more than anything. I also like Grown Alchemists, various body products that they make too. So,
good stuff. Yeah. You know your stuff, Denise.
Well, I discovered Credo Beauty years ago. And
you like shopping?
Yeah. So I shop there. When a few years ago, when I decided it's time for, and I really started to focus on what I put on my skin and how it affects, I went all in and literally tossed out everything, and even my mascara now by Ilia.
Yeah.
So
it has to abide by the Credo standard of clean for you to.
Absolutely.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Got it. Well, thank you for sharing some de-stressing techniques with us. I'm going to let you go in a second, but first, we do this with every guest. No pressure. These are just kind of word association, and yours all have to do with aroma, of course, because it's what you do. But Denise, what aroma reminds you of being a kid?
This is not an essential oil, but sun-kissed strawberries remind me of being a kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one. Did you pick them?
Yeah, so back in England where I grew up, we used to go, my parents and my sister, I only had one at the time, I have two now. We used to go strawberry picking. And, my sister and I, of course, was more like strawberry eating. My belly's aching. And, my parents weren't thrilled at that. They would pay, by the pound and then come back home and make their strawberry jams and strawberry this and strawberry that.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I grew up in the country. So I've got to see green. You're right. I've got to see green. But that's my scent.
Well, I was going to ask, what's the best smelling food? So now you can't say anything strawberry, but what's your favorite smelling food?
I like the smell of garlic. Yeah.
Oh, yes. That's a good one.
Yeah, the smell of garlic. I mean, garlic doesn't always love me, right? but I love the smell of garlic. If I smell garlic, I know it's going to be good.
Yes, and I'm immediately hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, what scent makes you think of love or loved ones?
Probably rose or geranium. Something that's flowers, that's kind of like emotionally nourishing for me. It would be, yeah.
Since I know you're not a huge fan of lavender, I have to ask, what scent makes you the most relaxed?
Palo Santo. Yeah.
And then what makes you the most energized? What scent?
I love grapefruit.
Okay, grapefruit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make my own candle now if you don't make it for me. A wake up in the morning grapefruit candle. That's a good one.
Yeah,
so zesty, right?
Anything. Like, I love eating it. I love smelling it. If there's a perfume, I've got it. If there's a cocktail, I'm ordering it. I mean, I love grapefruit.
Yes. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm the same with ginger. If there's a ginger cocktail, that's the one I'm getting.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, grapefruit. Got it. I'm uplifted and yet relaxed at the same time. Denise, thank you so much for coming on Fat Mascara.
Thank you, Jen, for being here. I appreciate you inviting me.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Razor One product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening.